Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, as you can see behind me, the flowers are in full bloom out here, and absolutely beautiful. It's like a late spring out here. We've been having snow and rain off and on right up until recently, and it's like now everything is just in full bloom, and again, it's just absolutely beautiful. So today I wanted to show you guys how to make some bushcraft hangers. And what's cool about bushcraft hangers, there's several different ways to use them. You can use them on a tree, you can use them on a ridgeline, you could use them on the side of your vehicle. Depending on what type of shelter you have, you can hang them off your shelter. But bushcraft hangers is what we're going to do today. And this right here will soon become a bushcraft hanger. So you need some Y branches like this. And so what we're going to do first of all before we start is we're going to take a little walk down along the creek, and I'll show you an ideal place depending on where you're at to gather bushcraft hangers. So hang on, guys. Okay, I'm going to turn you guys around. Okay, just to give you an idea, here's some more of those beautiful flowers in full bloom. And they are pretty. They are pretty. They're all over the hillsides out here. So walking down to the creek, one of my favorite places to gather Y branches are in willow thickets. So if you're in an area like up here in the Ochocos where willows grow thick along the creek, you can find all kinds of natural Y branches. Here's one above me. Now this is a little thicker than what I would want. I want something about like that or a little smaller. But here's a perfect example. These willows fork into Ys, just like that. That one right there would work for a small one. Everywhere. And some of them, like here, these are just hanging over dead. So, in fact, that's perfect right there. Right there. It's broken off. It's hanging over. I can put my fingernail in it so it's still a little bit green, but it is dying. There's a perfect place to cut off a Y for a hanger. So, depending on where you're at, sorry about that, depending on where you're at, you can usually find some type of a Y on just about any tree out here. The pine and the fir have them. But getting down in those willow thickets along the creek is a favorite place of mine to get Y branches when I'm, building a crane for cooking or other things. Willow is a great material for fishing spears and whatnot. So I'm going to set up on a log here, and we are going to make a bushcraft hanger, and then we're going to go hang it. Okay, I've got a couple made, but we're going to do one together. So this one's already done. I've used the awl on my Swiss Army knife to put a hole all the way through it. And I've done the same thing on this one as well. So I got one more here and we'll do together. And I'm trying to set up to where you guys can see on camera. So I've got my Victorinox Forester. This is the wood-handled one. And on the back, as with a lot of Swiss Army knives, is an awl. Now, a word of caution, and I'm going to deliberately show you guys the danger of this. Number one, I recommend putting a glove on when you do this. If you've got a glove with you, and you should have in your kit to help protect your fingers, because this can close. You start pushing and it can close up, and you want to keep your fingers out of the way, which I'm going to show you anyway, but just having the glove on, if your finger were to slip or something like so, I've got added protection, and that's not going to, see, I can even pound on that against my finger. That's not going to cut into my finger because I got on a good pair of leather gloves. So one, leather gloves. Two, when I'm turning, I don't put my fingers down around it. Yeah, I could probably hold it in place like that a little bit, but I prefer to just have my fingers out of the way. So I hold it from the top. Okay. And then if you push straight down, which takes a little practice, you can keep that from folding shut. So I'm going to put a little weight on it here. And just take my time. There's no hurry. And I'm using that all and just slowly making my way through it. Trying my best to keep my weight straight down so that doesn't fold shut on me. And again, you probably could get away with like that for a little while, but if you're going through a thicker one, like this one I did earlier, you just have to get your fingers up out of the way anyway. So it's just a matter of time. And we're about to come through on the other side. Well, that's a tough one. Still not through. There we go. You see that? That's the tip right there coming through. Right there. So I'm going to move this back now. There's a little depression in the log, so I can go all the way through it without going into the log and having to deal with that too. See if you guys can see that. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull that back through and then turn it over and work from the other side a little bit. so that holds the right diameter all the way through. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now I've got that pushed all the way through now. Now I just want to clean it up a little bit, so I'm going to go back and forth. And again from the other side. And like I said, it does take a little bit of work. Of course, I'm trying to be careful too. If you get in a hurry, that's when you tend to get careless and can get hurt. So we have 3 Bushcraft hangers ready to go. And what works really good is bank line. This is the was it 300-pound bank line? Pretty much a standard diameter. I think 36, but I can't remember for sure off the top of my head. But see, that fits perfectly. So we'll go play with these, and I'll show you a couple different ways that you can use these Bushcraft hangers. Okay, one of the ways that you can use it, and a way that I like to use it, and this comes in real handy if you've been in the rain and you've had on some layers of shirts. So you got 3 different shirts on, and they're all, wet. You've been out hauling wet wood in the rain back to your fire, and now the sun's out, or at least it stopped raining, and you can build a little fire a few feet from, say, these 2 trees to put some heat out, and then I can hang a row of all my shirts on the Bushcraft hanger. So let's thread these on there. And again, bank line is perfect. Parachute cord can be a little large for the holes of the awl, depending on the size of your awl. Bank line is something that's a part of a bushcraft kit anyway, so hopefully you have some in your kit. And there we go. I'll turn that around towards you guys so you can see. So I'll just tie this off. Tie off one end here to this tree. Just going to use a simple overhand knot for now. Okay. And I'll run this around here. I can just do an overhand knot, pull that tight. Maybe I'll run it back here to this piece here. For now, that'll be fairly easy to untie. Like so. So, hang on. Got my shirt. I've set up camp for whatever reason. I can hang my backpack. I can hang dishes up to dry. Cups that have, a handle. I can hang the ring on. My cup, Pathfinder cup that I drink with. A variety of equipment, tools. Maybe you want to hang your knives up because you're relaxing in a hammock or whatever. It's endless, and you can make a whole string of these. You want to hang 10 or 12 or 15 different things up. You can make the ridgeline as long as you want. But here we go. And just like that, I have a place to hang my shirt. Back you guys up just a little bit. And make sure you can see that. So right there, got a place to hang shirts, clothes, whatever I want. Okay, so that's one way to use a bushcraft hanger, and this is the way I like to do it. I like to actually have cordage set up between two trees like this so that I can hang a variety of things and spread them out. So if my shirt is wet, rather than hanging off of a tree, the air can't flow through it all the way if it's hanging off a tree. Part of it where it's next to the tree is going to stay wet, but out here now the air is going to flow through it, and as I said, I can build a little fire a step out in front of this, make sure that it's not blowing the sparks on my shirt, but that I'm getting heat from the fire to help dry it quicker. And again, hang up water bottle, hang up cups and other things to dry, maybe hang up my knife or some other tools that I'm going to be using around camp. I don't want to lay them down on the ground and lose them in the grass or whatever. So bushcraft hangers, super handy, super cool. So I'll pause you guys and I'll show you one other way to do these. Ideally, I'd have a shorter piece of cordage, and again, you can use multiple hooks depending on the diameter of your tree. I took it down to just 2, and I'm keeping my bank line long because this is the scrap piece that is always in my pocket, that has now been out here on dozens and dozens of trips and I'm going to keep using it until it wears out. But you can take, just like that, I got one here, I got one here, and using whatever kind of knot you want, even just a simple overhand. That's all I'm going to do is an overhand, because that's good enough. I now have hangers on the side of a tree. So again, this is another way to do it. My shirt hanging off, my water bottle, my cup, whatever. And again, depending on the diameter of the tree, if you've got a big tree, you can make a circle of these all the way around. So you could have your water bottle hanging off one side, a shirt off the other, again, tools, cups, all the way around one tree. The only difference between this and the open line is for drying clothes, having a ridge line between two trees is a little better so that the air can get all the way through your clothes, and if you have a fire, the warmth from the fire can go through. But other than that, this is every bit as handy to just have a row of these around a tree and hang up your gear. So there it is, guys, little bushcraft tip for you guys, how to make bushcraft hangers. Dan at Ochco Bushcraft. Take care, everyone.